This is SC Reports. I'm Stefan Cyrus, and welcome back to the SC Reports podcast. So, on this podcast, we will talk about the biggest upset in possibly MMA history. So, guys, let's jump into it really quickly. And, of course, as I said, biggest upset in UFC history. Ronda Rousey loses to Holm. And this was a quick fight, and Ronda really looked out of place, especially when it got out of the first round. Um, she she looked really, really gassed, and that I guess that's just something the camp didn't really focus on because they really just expected to come in and do what they've always done. And that's I'm gonna bring up the camp a little bit later on, but let's get back on track here. Ronda Rousey just got manhandled by Holly Holmes. And, Holly controlled the tempo so well. It was such a good fight for her. And I said that Holly Holmes would eventually beat Ronda Rousey. I just think that she needed a little bit more time in the UFC. But hey, guess what? she came out and she said, "This is my time." And she really took it to Ronda Rousey. Ronda really chased after Holly so much. And that was something that she even pointed out on the Jimmy Fallon show, that she can't do or else she's going to get kicked in the head. Well, she got frustrated because she couldn't have her way with Holly. And guess what? She got kicked in the head. Ronda has made a living off of closing the space between her and her opponent and setting up for takedowns and setting up for submissions, with their judo background. This is the first time she has faced someone that, knows how to counter those stuff. Holly Holmes has held every major title in women's boxing you can hold. She also has a kickboxing background. So Holly knows how to create space and to also move around effectively. Something that Ronda has not had to deal with so far in the UFC. So what's next for Ronda? I think this is something that she really needed. It's so tough for her, especially because she's been on such a roll lately. But I think after mourning, her loss and getting over it, I think she can be a little bit excited that she can finally actually have a true camp because she has a true competition. And now, more than ever, she should be motivated to go out there and get her belt back. And I think that there has to be a big focus on striking. This is something that she did so horribly in the fight. She did not keep her hands up. She did not block effectively. But we did learn something about Ronda Rousey, that she can take a couple of hard punches. That's something that we did not get to see with all of her past fights because she always finished them so quickly. We didn't know if Ronda could even take one punch, one serious hard punch. But, she took a couple at UFC 193. And also, she needs a new camp. This is just plain and simple, number one. The person, I don't know the name, and anybody in the comments below, let me know who it was specifically. But one of the trainers there said that she's doing great after the first round, even though her mouth is busted open. She needs to remove that person, and I think she needs a new camp. I think that camp did not train her properly. She looked so out of place. She didn't look in any shape. Like I said, she looked gassed after the first round. This is just something that Ronda needs to do in order to come back and win her championship. And something to point out really quickly, guys. Every champion or every legend has been beat. Okay? It's just going to happen. Manny Pacquiao, Mike Tyson, you name it. This is something that happens. After not being challenged for so long, these competitors, they lose that edge. They lose that sense of urgency, like, I need to win this fight, because they come out and they finish their fights really quickly, or, most of their fights turn into KOs. So this is something that needed to happen to Ronda. again, I'm a huge Ronda Rousey fan. Like I said, she just dominates her opponents always. But I think that this is a huge wake-up call for her. I think that this is great. I expect Ronda Rousey and Holly Holm 2 to be really, really good. Like I said before, let's get something so straight here. Ronda is still one of the best and most dominant female fighters in the UFC. It's no question. A lot of people have actually came out and said like, oh, she's just, a one-trick pony. She's not as good as everybody made her out to be. Guys, she's still super dominant. It's just that Holly Holmes is just a different beast. She's just that one person that knows how to counter Ronda's every move and can knock out Ronda Rousey, okay? Miesha Tate after the fight was like, I'm happy that Ronda finally lost. You really shouldn't be talking. You lost to her twice. I think even more than twice. So why are you even talking? Chris Cyborg also, sent out a tweet, kind of trolling her. You just lost out on a huge paycheck. That could have been you if you decided to drop the weight and fight her. But now you've lost out on that big paycheck. Holly Holmes is your new champion. And also, guys, let's talk predictions for Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm. I think this will be a more evenly fought match the second time around. Ronda Rousey did go on to say that she wanted to take some time off from the UFC and likely return at UFC 200. So I don't know if Holly Holmes is going to also not be in action or she's going to take on Miesha Tate or somebody else. But, I definitely think that this will be a more evenly fought match. I think Ronda will have a new focus and finally have that killer instinct possibly, and also be a little bit more patient. You saw when she got frustrated, she started chasing her. And then that's what really was her demise. I think she'll be so much more patient. I think that she can regain her championship, but her camp or new camp has to definitely keep the focus on striking and staying patient. And number one, blocking. Like I said, her blocking was atrocious that day. And Ronda, I don't know if you'll ever listen to this, but if you ever do, I love you. I'm going to give you harsh criticism because I want you to get better. I want you to come back and win your championship. But let's talk a little bit about Holly Holmes. You can look forward to now possibly fights that last longer than 34 seconds. I think Holly Holmes is a great fit for a UFC champion. I think that she's going to do a fantastic job if she somehow gets over Rousey again. And, there'll be longer fights for these two. So I'm super excited for Holly Holmes if she can get past Ronda Rousey again, or if she starts fighting new people because Ronda decides to take some time off. So that's that, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Guys, this is actually my very first podcast. So if you actually got through this whole thing, let me know how I did. Thanks, guys. I'm a broadcast student, so I will be posting a lot more here. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in very soon.